Good afternoon, and shall I say, welcome aboard HeadTrip Air. For those of you joining us for the first time, we have been making a journey throughout Oregon, starting in La Grande, working our way over the Blue Mountains, through the Columbia River Basin, into the Gorge, on through the Dalles, with a pit stop in Hood River. We stayed in Hood River Valley and took a little tour of the valley of Mount Hood, Lost Lake, Bull Run Lake, a few other points of interest there. Then we moved on with an intent to get back in the gorge, move on through Cascade Locks, and our intent ultimately was to make it into Willamette Valley through Portland and on to Tillamook State Park and then on to the coast. But we had a little bit of a mishap along the way. Luckily, we made it out of the gorge, but we ran into a little bit of aviation difficulty, and we ended up having to make an emergency landing. You may have wondered, watching that last episode, if we survived that, shall we call it, a disaster. But here we are. We did make it through. We got plenty of medical attention and got a little bit of repair and maintenance on our vehicle, and we're ready to go again. So just as a heads up, I started this little series, this trip through Oregon, kind of for my good friends, Tony and Melissa, working their way up this weekend. In fact, I think they will be leaving, if I recall, it'll be tomorrow or the next day. And so I'm trying to finish a couple of these in the event that they have any desire or curiosity to see what's ahead of them on their journey. So we're in Troutdale right now, just right outside the mouth of the gorge. And we have a fun little tour lined up for us today. You can see my frame rate's still a little bit on the... it's not too bad, but I mean, it's not ideal. The gamers will probably just lose their minds and going crazy, right? But I want to give Tony and Melissa a good view of what's in the Portland area. And just for context, we started out this tour... I didn't realize it, and I'm glad I haven't gotten too far into this series, because when they ported this game to the Xbox One S and X, my entire install on my PC just disappeared. I don't know if that was normal, but it went away, and I had to reinstall this simulator. And in doing so, a lot of my settings were lost, and I realized that I had my settings on really low settings. I wasn't bringing in the photogrammetry that from the aerial views, and a few of these scenes just looked like we were playing a game of Roblox or Minecraft or something like that, and it looked really, really poor. So I've upped the settings. Things will look pretty, but things won't run quite as smooth, and we'll just have to balance that throughout the trip. We'll see, in certain areas, especially when we get into Portland, I might have to tweak it a little bit, because Portland's a big city. There's a lot to render in there, a lot going on in that big city. So we'll just see. We'll just kind of take it by ear, and we'll make the decision along the way. So I'm going to give you a little overview of our tour today. If you look, here's our map. And help, that's probably pretty accurate. I think everybody knows that this pilot could use a little bit of help. I've highlighted, now here's where we are right now. Let me see if I can, I don't know if this is going to work. I've got a little application that will let me come over and draw on my screen here. Let's just see if this works. No, it's not working quite yet. Okay, so what I'm just going to do with my mouse, not a big deal. So let's come over here, and I'm going to show you, bring my mouse back up. Let's see. There you go. Well, you can see my mouse now. This will work. So here's where we're at right now. We are sitting in Troutdale, okay, right outside the gorge. If you look over here, the gorge, we just came out of the gorge. We just passed through the waterfall area and Cascade Locks and all that, okay? So that'll give you an idea of where we're sitting this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. I set the simulator time to about 5:30 in the afternoon with some high clouds in the air. So we'll see if that works out for us. But Troutdale, here's where we're at, right? Okay. We're at this airport right here. We're going to take off, and here's the direction we're going to take on this tour. We're going to go westward, and we're going to cross over Government Island, and then we're going to come on down, and we're going to take 205 down, and I'm going to show you a little point of interest here. Nice little grotto. I've never been here. In fact, I've never been to a few of these places that I'll be showing you, but they're on my bucket list, and beautiful, peaceful garden here. Nice place. Once again, I think you guys are making just a quick pit stop through Portland as well, so this will just be more FYI as you're driving by, and something to put on your bucket list as you come back. Then we're going to head back towards the river, cross over the airport, and then we're going to do a flyover Hayden Island. And then the way we're going to tour Portland is we're going to do this. We're going to kind of do two passovers. We're going to follow the Columbia River, and then we're going to do a detour right here at the very end or the mouth, whatever they call this, of the Willamette River. Okay, and that comes down and that goes through Portland, through downtown, and we're going to do a bridge tour. Portland, if anything, is the city of bridges. I mean, there are just a ton of bridges that go through this area. So you start up and you have bridge number. Let's count them. Let's just count them real quickly. We've got bridge number 1, bridge number 2, bridge number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're kind of out of the main downtown area. So a lot of bridges. We're going to do a little bridge tour. We're going to fly low. Hopefully we can do so safely. Keep our precious cargo, which is you, safe. So what we're going to do is, as we make our way down through the river, it's going to kind of be a river tour, bridge tour, and then we're going to come down and keep going down. I want to point out something that I've never been to down here in this area near Ross Island. Then we're going to kind of come all the way down the Willamette River until we're going to find Oswego Lake, and we're going to just take a veer there. Go over Oswego Lake and Lake Oswago town, kind of work our way back to I-5, and we'll work our way back up to the Portland, Oregon Temple, which is, I know, a point of interest on your itinerary specifically. And by the way, I'm kind of addressing a lot of my comments to Melissa and Tony, but whoever else joins us, hope you enjoy the ride. Feel free to hop in the cockpit and buckle up and just come along and ride for us. After the Portland Temple, we're going to go back north all the way up to the beautiful hill here and Highway 26. If you did 26, that would take you right out to Ecola State Park, Seaside, Canton Beach area. That's just a straight shot out there. But we're going to kind of come back around towards the city on 26. And this little area is just a wonderful little area. So much to do, so much going on here. You've got the Oregon Zoo, you've got the International Rose Test Garden, the Portland Japanese Garden, you've got Hoyt Arboretum, Washington Park, all that stuff. Just a beautiful, beautiful area right here, right near town. Like, how lucky is Portland to have just this little gorgeous forestry mountain, and right as its backdrop. It's kind of what makes Portland such a quaint and beautiful place, along with the river and the bridges and all that stuff. So then we'll kind of come back up through downtown. We'll do a wedgie cam, freeze us right here because there's just too much going on. We'll talk about wonderful places to eat, and we'll talk about some of the highlights, or at least some fun things going on downtown. After we do that, we'll work our way back to PDX, and we're going to land at Portland International to end this episode. So that's the plan. That's the plan for today. As you know from past episodes, anything can go wrong. Usually can and will go wrong. So we're just going to improvise. We're going to wing it. Pun intended, of course. And we're going to fly through an amazing city, Portland, Oregon. So let's come back to our cockpit, and we will boot up the plane, call in our departure, and we'll get on the road. I've double-checked my settings to make sure we don't just immediately crash into the ground. My trim's okay, my flaps are okay, so, you know, we'll cross our fingers. I'll do a little drop in the music, and let's make in some phone calls. And that was complete, you know. Phone is not the proper term, but we're going to call them phone calls. Before I do anything, let's make sure we're close to sea level. So we're going to leave our mixture all the way rich, and we'll pull on our throttle just a bit. Flying in the daytime, so well, let's get some electricity in this thing. As you can tell, we're being warned by our trusty plane computer to fasten our seatbelts. That's what I'll interpret from that. I know that's probably not what it means, but that's what it means for us. We're going to throw our beacon on. We're going to throw our taxi lights and nav lights and our strobe, just so everyone can see us, get the fuel running. You can hear that fuel just pumping. Put on avionics, and we better start the plane. Should we try this? There we go. We've got motion. Now, it is a little choppy right now. This game is completely dependent upon, well, multiple things, obviously. Your CPU, your graphics card, but it's also highly dependent upon good internet speed. And I usually get okay internet speed here, but if the internet ever slows down, that's where we're going to see some issues. So let's just cross our fingers that we have a good flight today. HeadTrip 1. Calling in to tower. And when I say tower, there's no tower, but we're just calling in our departure. I think we're going to part straight out. We'll go straight out.
Portland ground, HeadTrip 1-2, request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
HeadTrip 1-2, taxi to and hold short of runway 25 using taxiway, Charlie, cross runway 25 Alpha. Contact tower on 121.8 when ready.
Runway 25, so we're going to be taking off at a bearing of about 250 degrees, roughly so, using taxiway C and cross runway 25A. Now, I'm usually pretty anal. I try to be when following the instructions of ATC, but especially for the HeadTrip Air World Tour series. But in this series,
please acknowledge.
Okay. Don't ignore ATC rule number 1.
Taxi to and hold short runway 25 using taxiway Charlie, cross runway 25 Alpha, HeadTrip 1-2.
Now, I may have just told a little fib there because, as I was telling you, in this series our focus is on, you know, a guided tour and not so much getting around the globe. And so we cheat a little bit more in this series. So we're just going to take a taxiway. Well, we'll just see where we go. But I'm not going to use my Navigraph charts. I'm just going to kind of hop in and go. We may as well load up our map over here. I think it's worthwhile to have with us so we can kind of see where we are from a bird's eye view. I think we'll start out with a little more zoomed in view, and then let's see now, taxiway 250. Let's do our math. Not our math, but let's look at the circles. We're going to be taking off to the west, so that means we need to move over to the right, and then we'll be taking off towards Portland. Is the idea. That should be taxiway 25 or runway 25. Okay. Enough of that. You didn't come here for flight school. You came here to learn a little bit about Portland. And me too. So now I'm not an expert. I haven't spent tons of time in Portland. I'm just going to tell you right now. But I am pretty good at pulling up Google, and I'm pretty good at pulling up TripAdvisor. And so that's how we roll around here, right? Okay. Enough of my yammering. Let's see if we can get to the runway. Okay, we'll just kind of play with this. There we go. Appreciate your help, brother. And we're gonna give ourselves some speed. And we're gonna release our emergency brake. And we're probably gonna decapitate him. Yep, we just did. That's okay though. So this is gonna be the direction we're gonna take off into, towards the sun. So we're gonna have to cross the runway and come back the other way to get ourselves some room to maneuver. There we go. We'll taxi way out to the other way. Now you can see my frame rate. It's a little choppy. It seems like it was a little bit better yesterday. So when I move the camera around, you know, we'll play with it a little bit, but I just wanted to have at least a chance to have some pretty high resolution details, because I think that's interesting to me, first of all. But I realized the trade-off there. We have one other little surprise for you today. I don't know if it's a surprise or not, but you'll be the judge of that. I've asked a few of my friends and family members. We have a special musical soundscape for you. Every month, I have some friends and family who put together a project where we all record music, and everyone does a segment of it, a song, whatever. And I don't always participate, and I've been scolded for that a few times. But when I do, you know, it's kind of a fun project, and I know I need to do it more. But you know, when you're flying, and when you're tour guiding, and when you're working, and when you're spending time with family, you just have to, just like a trip to Oregon, you just got to pick and choose your poison. And I kind of come in and out. So, but we'll let you listen to as a soundscape, since we're kind of in a little more urban area. This is a little more urban film. Now, this isn't it, what you're listening to right now, but we'll pop it on at some point during our tour. And it is a little collaboration from a Discord server called The Zoo with a local rapper named Dizan. And I'll be scolded if I get any of that wrong as well. But that's okay. Okay. I think we're lined up. We've already got our clearance. So let's get into the sky. Now, I told you we're going to be using the wedgie cam a little more often today, because I want to be able to stop and discuss areas that we cross over and then continue on. So I think that'll be useful. Okay, I'm just going to take one more quick check at my settings. My trim is okay, my flaps. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one flap, just so we can get some good lift on this first departure. We'll let traffic cross, and let's move in. Okay. I just have to get my mind mentally prepared, just to make sure, you know, there's focus on the streaming element of this, and sometimes I fail to pay proper attention to my flight. But I don't think anything is out of order here. So let's throttle up. traffic there, but that'll be their problem, not mine. Okay, fairly smooth takeoff.
HeadTrip 1 to you were not cleared to take off.
Except that, I thought I was cleared to take off. I really thought I called in my departure. I really did. Okay, we're going to move over here towards the river so that we can give you a quick look at Government Island. Now, this is interesting little island out here. You can only access it. You can only access it, I should say, by boat. Although the Interstate 205 crosses it, there is no off-ramps. And so if you want to get onto Government Island, you got to get a little boat. And people go out here and they fish and they, you know, frolic and probably, I don't know, maybe swim, maybe kayak or row or whatever. But as you can see, you'll see as we fly over this, you're going to need something to get out there. So hey, add it to your bucket list one day. Frame rate's just a tad stuttery, but that's okay. We'll take beautiful over performance, just for the moment. And you can see up ahead the bridge crossing the river, that's Interstate 205. And you will also see as I pull through there that there is no access points along the island. So I'm curious, I don't know, but I'm just curious how much traffic this island gets, you know, if it's a major recreational area or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it's a good time for the wedgie cam. So why don't we do that? Why don't we, let me get my trim up first so we don't sink while that would be a little catastrophic. Let me trim up my nose a little bit. And we'll come back down. It'll settle in, I think, unless I've trimmed too much. Once the speed kind of levels off. Okay, let's just see. We'll wedgie cam up here towards the west side of the island. Wedgie cam ready? Come on now. Okay, I'm trying to work it, guys. I don't know why wedgie cam's not cooperating. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hold tight. Okay. Let's see if we can wedgie cam this. There we go. Wedgie cam on. Let's just take a quick look around the island. Now, first of all, we'll make sure that this is what I think it is, but I'm confident it is. Confident it is. There's the interstate going over top of it. Let's come on out to our first point of interest, and that is Government Island. Okay, that's it. That's what we're looking at. Government Island Recreation Area. Here's what a few of the reviews say about it. Beautiful place to visit in the summer. Must have a boat. visit new people, or even record a music video. Well, hey, we're on top of that, aren't we? Great place. Isn't this where they make the government cheese? I hope so. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's look at some pictures. These are people frolicking. Some people frolicking along the way. A lot of frolicking. Looks like some drones out there. Gorgeous sunset on the island. Okay, there you go, see? And let's go back to our reviews. See if there's any more cheese comments. Government cheese. Government Island is a perfect weekend getaway for boaters. Government Island is an odd place for a visit unless you want to have that almost totally alone feeling. It's a great rest stop if you find yourself kayaking on the Columbia River. There is only one way to get onto the island, even though the Interstate 205 bridge running north and south does use it as an anchor spot between Washington and Oregon. So as soon as you cross that island, you're going to be moving into Washington. And I'm sure you've known that all along the way, right? Washington on the north side of the Columbia River and Oregon on the south. Lots of wildlife to be seen, which includes black tall deer, the endangered species, Columbian white-tailed deer, bald eagles, osprey, millions of salamanders, and other amphibian creatures. Yes, you will find people on the island, but unless it's right around the 4th of July, you might be searching for a while. So hey, there you go. If you want to be away from people and you have a boat, Government Island is the place to be, apparently. Nice camping spot. I bet they let you camp out there. So that's fun. That's our first point of interest. Now the second point of interest, we're going to take a little veer here to the south, and we're going to follow that 205 down, and hopefully we find it. I really ought to bring open... I just realized my iPad is missing. Well, surprise, surprise. We had that conversation in a previous episode, right? The iPad is quote mine, but mostly quote the kids. So we'll survive without our additional map. Let's pull off the wedgie cam. I hope everyone had an opportunity to get a few wedgies in there, and let's move along our tour. Let's see if we can level out. I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a little bit just so we don't gain too much elevation. We don't want too much elevation at this stage. I'm gonna pull up my flaps so those don't fight against us. We'll come down the interstate and let's see if we can find our next point of interest. I really didn't, I have got a lot of trim going on, so I need to pull back away from that. You're wondering why my nose is just flying into the sky? That was why. That'll level us off a little bit. Okay, now somewhere down here, I believe it's right in front of us, I'm going to guess, is what they call the Grotto. You see all that green? I'm guessing this is the Grotto. I'm going to fly right over it. I'm going to try to give ourselves a good view of it. I feel like I'm a little high for where I want to be, but we'll try to reduce our... and we'll wedgie right above it. Shall we? Shall we wedge it? Okay. Let's just, the reason why I want to stop here, I want to make sure this is indeed what I'm claiming it to be, but I do believe it is. So if we come out, once again, to our trusty tour guide, Google Maps, we come on over to the Grotto. Now, I think that's right? If you're looking at what we just did, yep. That's it, okay? The Grotto, right here. A nice little garden area, peaceful. It's a Catholic shrine and garden. We've got a little Manor Church next to it. I'm not sure if that's associated with the Catholic Church or not. I don't know. I don't think it is, but it could be wrong. But then you've got, these wonderful, peaceful gardens. Let's take a look at a few photographs coming through this place. So we've got the grotto. See, I'm leading you to places of peace right now, if you can't tell. That's just kind of where I like to be. Nice little shrine, a lot of statues, I believe, in this beautiful place. Once again, I have not been here, and that is going to change the next time I go through Portland. Just looks fantastic. I'm all about it. Just really looks wonderful. It reminds me of why people come out to Salt Lake City sometimes to view Temple Square, right, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because, I mean, that's kind of, you come out and you're just curious about that beautiful temple and that, the temple grounds, and Christmas time you got all the lights and stuff like that. It's just, even if you're not, part of the faith, I think it's fascinating to just look at all these wonderful, beautiful areas that are created by these different communities. I think it's fantastic. It's really, really fun. It's been fun kind of putting these tour guides together because, frankly, I'm discovering a lot of things that I just haven't taken the time. So we'll come back out to our plane. We'll continue on. But the grotto. So if you want to take a detour, then you're, certainly your prerogative to do that. But if you look down there, it just looks really interesting. And there's that Manor House Church, and then the grotto's over here in this part, right over here. Okay. And then there's more stuff over here. Maybe it's all part of the grotto, I don't know. But looks great. Okay. So as you can see, we're going to work our way back up over towards our next point of view, which is Hayden Island out there in the distance. Okay. We just came from Government Island. Took a little pit stop here. We're going to go towards Hayden Island. So let's move that direction. Let's reset our view here. Give ourselves a proper view, a proper zoom, and we'll continue on. And Wedgecam off. We're going to make a sharp bank. Beautiful valley. You see the hills over there by the city. That's the direction we're heading. That's the Willamette River over there. But be patient. We'll get there. Now I do believe that's Portland International right there. That's PDX. That'll be our final pit stop. That's where we're going to try to land, at that airport. But before we do that, we have plenty to see. Let's put the music up a little bit. Now I forgot what time of the day that you guys were going to be kind of passing through the Portland area, so this may or may not be, but I do believe it was going to be somewhere maybe in the afternoon, since I knew you were going to be stopping at Multnomah, and so who knows. Now, all I know about this from looking at it, I didn't even do any research on anything about this little island, but I see a lot of boats and a lot of recreational opportunities around here. This is much, much, much more trafficked than Government Island, clearly. Lots of fun going on down there. Lucky Portland residents. There was no end to the fun down there. Hotel down there, I believe somewhere down there is like the Red Lion. You can stay on there. Just kind of a fun little place, I guess. What do I know? Looks fun to me. Okay, now as you can see, we're coming up to the mouth of the Willamette River up here. That's where we're going to bank left, and we're going to start our bridge tour. Okay. I don't remember the order of these bridges. I really don't. I lined them all up, and with the intent, I should have just written out a list in front of me so we could pass over them without me having to go back and forth on my my Google tabs. But hey, we'll see what we can do. I do have an idea that may not disrupt our tour as much. Yeah, this is gonna work just fine. This is going to work just fine. Now, if you were to continue up through, just following the Columbia River, that's going to land you right out by Astoria. And hopefully somewhere along your journey, maybe you'll make it all the way up there, because Astoria is an incredible, just unique town. Very different than in most of what you're going to find on the coast. Very charming. Got the big bridge that goes between Oregon and Washington. You've got tons and tons of museums, if you're a museum kind of person. You've got the steamships, right, cargo ships coming in and out of the channel. You've got the Goonies house, which is always just so popular, and there's times when they're the residents, private residents, and sometimes they're more amiable to having visitors, and sometimes less. But sometimes they ask for donations, but it's very private. Most of the time, you have to just kind of, sometimes view it from a distance. Sometimes, you want to be respectful, right? But at the same time, it's the Goonies, so I'll leave that to your judgment. Okay, I'm going to drop in elevation a little bit as we come down this river. There's no reason to do it from this altitude. Let's just see. We've got our first bridge coming up shortly. Try to prepare for it. This first bridge is going to be St. John's Bridge. I'll let you do the Google research, because I've got to be a little more cautious in my flying at this moment. Look at this, look at this forested hillside. This is Forest Park coming along here. Just come on, man. A huge urban city next to this. That's hard to beat. It really is. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's see if we can get our elevation down. I'm going really fast. I'm gonna drop some flaps so we can try to slow ourselves down just a little bit. Now I've got to pay attention to what I'm doing, or else we will not survive this journey. So let's just see how this all pans out. Get my thrust back on. Now this is interesting. Okay, let's not get that low. St. John's Bridge. Now this looks a little strange from at least this direction. I don't know what's going on. That's a little odd. It rendered that bridge a little strangely. Hey, you know, AI is really, really smart, but look at that. Brilliant. There's St. John's Bridge. Now let's see if I can figure out what this next bridge is. I believe the next bridge is the Burlington North Railroad Bridge 5.1, version 5.1 apparently. That's the rail bridge. As you know, when you have access to the ocean and you have a river, there's a reason why they call it Portland, right? There's a reason why they call it Portland. This is kind of the more industrial side of town, as you can see. I don't have all the names of districts right now in front of me. And if I weren't flying, I mean, I could wedgie cam it, I guess. But obviously you can see a lot of the cargo comes in here, ships, and that's where you get all your wish.com apparently, right? From China? Who knows? All that overseas cargo. Alright, our next bridge up ahead is Fremont Bridge. It's got an arch-shaped structure over top. 4.4 stars on Google Maps, so take that for what it's worth. By the way, up here in this Forest Park area, tons and tons of trails, huge trail system. And so, opportunity, you know, if you ever want to just climb through forest right outside of the city, go get some great food in downtown Portland, and then go burn it off on a trail. Boy. Approaching the downtown area. So here is the Fremont Bridge. With the next couple bridges coming up, we're going to have Broadway Bridge and then Steel Bridge. Some more ships down here. There's Broadway Bridge, and right above it, the cool, I believe, Steel Bridge. I can't remember if this is the one that, you know, draws up or not. Steel Bridge, then Burnside Bridge, coming up right below us. Nothing overly spectacular about that one. It's going to go from Burnside to Morrison Bridge and then to Hawthorne. Hawthorne Bridge is the one with the little steeples, shall we say. Then from Hawthorne, we go to Marquam Bridge, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, then Tillicum Crossing and Ross Island Bridge. And that leaves us over by Ross Island over here. Now, if you think, whoa, Jason, back up, man, we just passed up the city. We're coming back around. Don't worry. We're coming back around. There's Ross Island for you. That's a pretty little creation of God there. Pretty area. I'll give you one little view back looking at the city from the south end. Now, I wanted to do a little wedgie cam right here because right over here, let's see if I can make this happen. We all like nostalgia, right? And from what I understand, I was just doing, little Google slash. Here, we'll wedgie it right there. Time to give your kids some wedgies in the car. Wake them up, because they might be interested in this point of interest. Right down here, this got my attention. I don't know why, but it did. There is, let's make it through our bridges here. ScareGrounds PDX. Now, keep in mind, this only gets 4.1 stars. So, take it for what it's worth. But I'm like, ScareGrounds PDX? I'm all in. I don't even care what it is. I'm all in. That food looks pretty good. So what is this down here? It looks like this is just a little mini amusement park. Nostalgic spot with a skating rink and rides. Come on. I mean, I know you go to Anaheim for your big Disneyland, and then you go to, Universal Studios, and you go to Six Flags and all that. No, we're not doing that here. We're going to a little nostalgic spot with a skating rink and rides. And most importantly, the ScareGrounds PDX. What is ScareGrounds PDX? Come on, let's find out. First of all, it's got that food. I don't even know what's in that dish. Looks like some shrimp. Looks like some pork or beef. It looks good. That looks like poutine almost. Come on, Clark County ScareGrounds? Haunted House? Scream Park? Yes, please. I mean, look at that guy. That guy is not messing around. That guy is like, I'm doing my job, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm not breaking character. And this guy's going. He's like, how did I end up in this station in line? So we've got a little bit of a dichotomy going on between these two guys. This guy's like all in, and this guy's like, I'll play along, But anyways, so that's ScareGrounds PDX. I have no idea what that even means. But I will tell you what, the Wheelers are going to work their way there one day. I can guarantee you that. You ready to continue our flight? Let's just take while we're paused. Let's just take in the sights. Let's just take a look at the surrounding area. So once again, looking back towards Ross Island and all the bridges in Portland, with that beautiful, backdrop of Forest Park and all that area. We're going to come back to this area right here, back in here, roughly back in here, I think, where you've got like, I think it's back in there. We'll figure it out, but like the zoo and the Japanese gardens and everything. Lots of fun things in this area. But we're going to continue our journey on. We're going to turn the music down just a little bit. That's, if people would learn to normalize their music before they publish it, we wouldn't have to go up in volume and down in volume. But that's what you get with royalty-free music. You get a little bit of everything, okay? So we're going to work our way down the Willamette River, and then we're going to find Oswego Lake, and we're going to just cut to the right, and we'll find our way to the Portland, Oregon Temple, shall we? Let's break wedgie and move along. There we go. Level out a bit. Pull back on the throttle so we don't overspeed here. Yeah, every time we drive through Portland, we're like, we really have not given Portland its dues and respect for all the things you can do here, for all its quirkiness, for all its interesting personality. It's got its share of problems too, clearly, but you know what? That comes with the territory when you're attracting just a diverse, wide variety of people. Here's Oswego Lake right up here. This is where we're going to cut off. And we'll cut off to the west here. We'll break away from the river and we'll follow the lake. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And you guys haven't even gotten to the best part yet. I mean, all this wonderful stuff, and we haven't even gotten to our ultimate destination, which is the beautiful Oregon coast. Okay, we're going to be coming up on the interstate here. I believe it's I-5. I can't remember. I think it is. We'll verify. But we're going to get up to the interstate and we're going to bank hard to the right, coming back up north, and that's going to lead us along this interstate right to the Portland, Oregon Temple. And I can see it right now in the distance, so I'm going to pause this. Well, maybe I'll pause this once we get in view. I'm going to drop elevation here. You can see its spires just poking up right to the right of the interstate, right beyond that off-ramp. I'm trying to time this right so that I have time to pull my mouse out and initiate the wedgie cam. Okay. I think we're in a pretty good spot to do that. Let's just do it right now. Okay, there we go. So this is where you'll find the Portland, Oregon Temple, right down there. Let's see if we can get a zoom on it. From what I recall, you were going to maybe take a pit stop here, have some lunch, walk the grounds. And another great place just to find some peace, find some enlightenment, just some positivity in the world, right? Wonderful place. Okay. Get some pictures of that. We go straight from ScareGrounds to Lake Oswago, Lake, and Temple. Here's the pictures. Pretty, pretty building. Been to this temple, and that is my bad. That's on me because we've just blown through too fast. So you guys are smart to take a. That's gorgeous. Is that like a walkway looking from the bottom? That's pretty. for those of you who aren't members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as you know, I'm broadcasting out of Utah, so I clearly am a member. You can walk the temple grounds. There's visitor centers and things like that, and you can meet people out there. But you won't be able to go inside unless you're a member of the church. And they recommends to get into the temple. So you probably already heard that and know that, but it's worth the pit stop anyways. I mean, just the beautiful, beautiful building is worth the pit stop. And you'll just find a lot of friendly people there. Pretty. Amazing Japanese tree. Statue of, by the way, if you're wondering that, that's a statue of Moroni. He's a character. He's one of the writers in the Book of Mormon, and so you wonder what's that trumpet? Like, what's he doing? That's a trumpet that symbolizes the calling forth of the second coming of Christ. Okay. What a great pit stop. Let's come back to our cockpit. And we're going to, now, what we're going to do is we're going to head straight up north. We're going to go all the way back up to the hills. And then we'll come around. We're going to meet up with Highway 26. Highway 26 is kind of a highway that goes from east to west here, and it's going to go west all the way out to Ecola State Park, Seaside, Cannon Beach, that area. And I know you guys are staying in Seaside at least a portion of your itinerary, so I don't think you're going straight out there. So you'll work your way up to Seaside, a different route going up 101 on the coast. But if you were to go right from Portland out there, that's the highway we're going to meet up with, and then we're going to come right back around, show you all the zoo, the zoo area, and all those fun places, and then we'll go downtown and just fly right through downtown Portland and give you a quick little summary of a couple of fun things right downtown. We'll take a look at some of the. I know you guys have a family with you, so you're on a budget. If I assume you're on a budget. I know I would be on a budget if I went out there, so I'm not going to go through the number one restaurants down. I mean, Portland is known for its food, and there's wonderful, wonderful places to eat, but many of them are probably too pricey to take the whole family. So we're going to go through the quick bites section of TripAdvisor and show you some of the recommends for quick bites, including Voodoo Donuts, which, by the way, is not number one on quick bites. I know it's the one we all hear about and know about, but there's a few that top it on the list. So we'll get there. Let's keep moving forward. Here we go. Let's see if I better get a little more throttle, or we're going to land in one of these neighborhoods unwelcomed. Yep, I know. I'm going to put my flaps on and give myself a little bit of lift. Not so much lift that I stall, though. I'm really not a good pilot. Have you noticed? I really am not a good pilot. I'm just kind of eking by in life here. See if we can stabilize ourselves for a moment. Goodness. Feels like there's a little bit of wind, maybe? Fighting a little bit of wind. You see my tail flipping around there a little bit. That's how us novice pilots justify our... Okay, I could get lost here, I'll be honest, because I could get ourselves a little bit lost. I'm looking for the major interstate. It shouldn't be hard to find. I think it's right up here. But finding like the zoo and stuff like that, it shouldn't be hard. I mean, it's a big area with a lot going on, but it's also kind of amongst a lot of forestry, and it's It's very possible I could just kind of do it wrong. We might have to do a flyover because it seems like it's supposed to be like right around here. Is this it? I think this is it. I think that's the Highway 26. So if that's the case, then let's see if we can... Wow, I'm stuttering really well. That's my problem. I'm just not... The frame rate is just killing me at the moment. So I apologize for that. I think the zoo area and all that it has to offer... Wow, we could potentially die. Yeah, my frame rate's just really hurting me right now. I apologize. It's a little anticlimactic in some ways, right? But we'll live. Okay, so there's Ross Island over there. Is this it? Or is this more like... This is the top of the hill where the tram takes you up to. There's a tram that takes you down. I think this is the... Oh, no, that's not right. That looks like a high school or a football field. What do I know? I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm flying from... That's when you're flying in the sky, you kind of got to put the pieces together. We'll find it all, though. Like the zoo is kind of down in... Right? This area? Right? Actually, let's wedgie cam this. I mean, let's just wedgie cam this and figure out where we are. Okay, let's get our bearings. There's the zoo area. So basically, there's Ross Island. Okay, so there's Ross Island right here. And if you just go literally directly, let's do it easier. Let's go Ross Island and go up to the third bridge, which is the, once again, I'll probably pronounce this incorrectly, the Marquand or something bridge. And when you go over the bridge, follow, and let's see. Yeah, probably not that hard. Oh, and if you follow that bridge over, then you go up to the Oregon Health and Science University. That's where the tram's going to take you out, right? There's the upper tram terminal, and if you go really close to this, you'll see those tram lines right there. See that? And it's closed right now. Temporarily closed, probably due to COVID is my guess. So unfortunately, you won't be able to ride a tram. But at least according to Google, and then that takes you down to the terminal below, downtown. And over here, you've got the there's the lower tram. So all the way from there up to the top, that's where the tram goes. Right at the top of Ross Island. Okay, so that makes sense. And I know that I believe the spaghetti factory, by the way, is over. Oh, there it is, right there. I always like, and they had a guy walking through there. When we ate at the spaghetti factory, it was really cool. They had a guy walking around there, like making balloons for kids and crap like that. He was probably a contractor. And that may have been, I don't know if they do that regularly, but they did it when we were there, and it was fun. And I love my spaghetti factory. Manager special, half meat, half Mazithra. My wife is manager special, half mushroom, half Mazithra. Of course, you're going to get the house salad. The house dressing on salad, the pesto. When they ask if you want ice cream afterwards, you say, I absolutely do, and I want the spumoni ice cream. So, now that I've told you exactly what to order at the spaghetti factory, let's move on our tour. Let's see. Now you know you don't want Jason at the wheel when he's driving you through Portland. Actually, for multiple reasons, you don't want Jason at the wheel, because there's a lot of one-way streets down here. My wife won't even drive it. She's like, because we're, I've already told you, we're not the best travelers. I may be all the way up here. I don't know. I think I'm probably not in the right area. But anyways, it's probably this whole general area that we're sitting around. It's my guess. So it doesn't matter, right? The point is right there towards the southern end, kind of where you take 26 off. you'll know because you'll hop on Highway 26 and you'll pass right by it. It'll be much, much easier from the ground. But from the air, clearly, sometimes we need a little bit of ATC guidance to know what we're looking at, apparently. So, anyways, what I wanted to do is I wanted to focus on some of the fun things that you're going to find here in this area. Of course, we talked about the zoo. You've got Washington Park and the International Rose Test Garden. Let's just pull open a few photographs of some of these. Make sure you're not in the middle of allergy season, I guess. You know, if you have anyone who has major allergies in your vehicle of grass or plants or whatever. But lots of beautiful things there in that garden. So you've got the rose garden. You've got the Japanese gardens. This looks super, super fantastic. Check this out. Let's get a little better view here of these photos. Come back to our regular soundtrack. One moment. I'll give you a nice peaceful soundtrack to start through here. Okay, let's come back again. Work our way through a few of these pictures. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go inside cockpit view so it quelches the sound of our motors a little bit. There we go. We can even go full screen. How's that? Why not? Because there's no rules. Here we go. Nice little tour through the Japanese gardens. There we go. You've also got, let's see, down here, Washington Park, Arboretum. I think I've got to get out of full screen or it won't let me control this anymore. Figure out what I'm doing here. There we go. Come on. Out of my way. And then further over downtown, we'll get over there, but there's also some Chinese gardens in Chinatown. I think it's smaller, I believe. It looked like it at least from down here in old Chinatown. There's some Chinese gardens about right there. The Lansu Chinese garden. So anyways, a lot. Wow. Okay, now we're dealing with a lot of computer limitations from Jason. Let's get out of full screen here. Can't do it. Once again, Jason's just struggling with And in fact, I think what I'll do is at this point, we'll just, well, no, I can't close out Google yet. Just keep moving. One moment. That's a nice fly over Portland. Makes you want to be in a Cessna right now, doesn't it? Okay, I think we're going to pause it right there. Right here, the downtown area of Portland. You've got the little financial district here. I wanted to pull open Google Maps and just show you a few very, very final points of interest, and then we'll go over our quick bites. Don't forget wonderful food in Portland. A couple points of interest I wanted to point out. Let's see, let's move back out. We don't want to be in Beaverton. I mean, not yet. So right downtown here, right downtown Portland. So here's what we've got down here. And once again, I'm no expert, so I'm just going to point out a few things that are of interest to me and Deb. And one being, of course, Voodoo Donuts, Old Town. It's just kind of tradition a little bit. And then there's Powell's City of Books. This is This is a very popular bookstore. We kind of give you a gander through here. Just really, really popular bookstore. No, I misspoke. It's not a popular bookstore. It's a legendary independent bookstore. Very large, very vast. I believe multiple levels. If you like to browse bookstores, Hal Books is where you want to be. Pick yourself up some good books for the coast, right? Do some reading on the beach. Mingle with the locals. It's like a grocery store of books. And grocery store of groceries. And oh my gosh, those pastries look good. Dang. I need to go get me a pastry today. My goodness. Pal Books. Best bookstore on the planet. Okay. Pal Books. You've also got the OMSI, the Science Center Planetarium. You know how much I love the stars. Pretty soon we're going to be doing a HeadTrip star party where we take off in the middle of the night on a new moon and head out towards some of the best dark sky spots on the planet. And we have to land and find them, and then we do a quick stargazing party virtually right here at HeadTrip. So another series, another time, but just keep in mind that that's going to be out there on the channel. The Science Center is kind of fun to walk through. All kinds of, I would equate it sort of similar to the Discovery Center in Salt Lake City, to some degree. Better though. You know what I'm saying? Just fun. There's the planetarium. All kinds of exhibits. Fun little gadgets. Dinosaurs. Fun things for the smaller kids. You know, if this kind of thing is your thing, it's kind of a fun little side detour. Okay, so you got the OMSI. I feel like I'm missing a few things. We talked about the Chinese gardens a little bit. Let me pull back out. Chinese gardens there. Let's just take a quick peek of those as well. That's cool. That's really cool. Koi Pond. That's really cool too. I'm impressed. You can find all this on Google. But why go to the effort when, you know, Captain Jason will do it for you, right? Okay. And here is your high recommendations for quick bites in Portland. The number one being Pip's Original. Now, that looks good. I'm just going to say it. If you're not hungry yet, you will be after looking at some of these photos. I don't know the reason why Pip's is so good other than the fact that it looks delicious. Little small donuts. My goodness. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, here's Pip's. Next spot. Gotta get back. The back button, right? No, we don't want to go that direction. Por qué no? Por qué no? This looks like excellent little, I don't know if it's Mexican street tacos, but I'm telling you what. Look at this stuff. And the charm. Oh man, I'm going to have to go grab my wife and we're going to have to go get some lunch today on a Saturday. Oh wow. Oh wow. I don't doubt it. Por qué no? Por qué no? Exactly. Exactly. So, keep heads up on that one. Okay, let's go back to our little handy-dandy list here. I'm not going to go through several of these, but I'll go through a few. Check this out. Pine State biscuits. Holy. You're not going to find that in Salt Lake City. It looks fabulous. It might give you a heart attack, but oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, now, guys, I'm officially hungry. I'm officially hungry. Just a couple more. The grilled cheese grill. Yes, please. And everything which looks fantastic. It's not just, nothing's normal here, right? It's just super normal. Extra normal. By the way, good time to note that we are not sponsored by any of these organizations, nor are we sponsored by anyone at this moment. But we do accept free food. We accept free food deliveries, so please reach out to HeadTripEntertainment@gmail.com and feel free to say, hey, we have a basket load of food for you. Thank you for, for making our food look so yummy. That'll never happen, but you know what? One can always dream. Okay, let's move on to just one. There's one more I gotta show you. One or two more. The veggie grill. And I really should stop at that one, but I'm gonna move right beyond it. And that's because I still, need to get myself eating more healthy. And we're working on it. Okay, no. Again? Yes, please. What? Alardo? That's gonna... Well, that one is gonna put a heart attack. But that's not the one I wanted to show you. Although I am. I didn't want to show you this one. Here we go. I'll show it to you. Jeez, that looks good, though. Man. Goodness. Goodness gracious. There was one more that looked real fun. And I'm hoping I can find it. Killer burger. I think it was one of the ones that I just showed you, but the seating arrangements in it were really fun. It's like in this little, bus or something like that. Was it Por qué no? I can't remember. One of those. You look it up. Just scan, the first, 6 or 7 of those. And you're going to find that Voodoo doesn't even make it down to 19, right? See, there's our little Voodoo donut at 19. Anyways, if you're not hungry, then you must have just eaten, and probably for the best, because this could set you back a little bit. Okay, now as I close these out, very last thing I wanted to show you. There it is. Okay, this is the last point of interest that I wanted to show to you. Once again, you probably won't be staying there on this trip, but just for future reference, we've always wanted to stay at one of the McMenamins. I was looking for McMinnville, but it's McMenamins Kennedy School, and there's a couple different of these. But it was an old school that was renovated into a hotel. And so, check this out, man. I mean, this is cool. Let's see if I can find some better photos here. Kind of wanted to. There we go. That's better. Full view? That's not full view, though. Okay, we'll just... I'm trying to get the part where we're actually looking at some of the rooms. We'll get there. Go. They actually have a little theater that you can go in right there at the hotel. You can watch a movie and enjoy your grub. Oh, now you've got my wife's attention. Alien, The Shining, Army of Darkness. Are you kidding me? Now you've got my attention. Just really, really cool, unique experience. I was hoping to show more of the rooms. I'm trying to figure out where the rooms are when you go to look at the photos, but maybe the official website. Oh my goodness! Now you've got my attention as well. Now you've got my attention. What was that? What on earth was that? Cosmic Road Trip? What is that? 21st Annual UFO Festival? September 24th and 25th? What do I have on my calendar? Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got to look for a quick flight up there. My wife would go nuts for that at McMenamins. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Cosmic Road Trip? Finish off 2021 with a Cosmic Road Trip at McMenamins as your guide? Of course. August 21st? Wait a minute. Well, I guess we missed that. Was it August 21st? No. Tour 1, January through April, May through August, September through December. Each month, we designate 3 McMenamins Hotels. Okay, just go to McMenamins.com and read up on this. I'm gonna go read into this. This looks good advertising, McMenamins. Good advertising. Now, stay. Here's the hotels they've got. They've got the Anderson School, the Crystal Hotel right down there in Portland. They've got one up in Troutdale, the Edgefield, the Elks Temple, Gerhardt Hotel. Oh, Gerhardt, guys. I know you're heading up that direction. Grand Lodge in Forest Grove, Hotel Oregon in McMinnville, Oregon, the Kalama Harbor Lodge, Kennedy School right there in Portland, the Old St. Francis School in Bend, the Olympic Club, Centralia, Washington, and the White Eagle Saloon and Hotel, Portland, Oregon. So, my goodness, I'd take a trip in each one of those because you know that there's some fun stuff to do there. So guys, that concludes my points of interest tour. We're going to fly back to PDX and end this thing, and then I'll try to edit up at least this segment of the episode, just because I know it got long. I just got caught up in some research. I mean, that's the way that I pay for myself on this tour, because I want to enjoy it as much as you guys do. So that's how we roll around here. So let's just take in the last few views of downtown Portland. Okay, sun's starting to go down, so I've taken plenty of time. This has been a really fun episode once again. Just really, really pretty territory, guys. I'm excited for you. If you don't make it through Portland much, then at least you got a chance to look at what's here. I mean, you got to take a tour without even stopping, you know, and that's almost as good. So, but if you were to stop at every place that I show you, you'll probably never make it to the ocean. So, I've got my beacons on. Let's get back into our cockpit view and finish off this flight and head back to PDX, shall we? Guys, here we go. Try to do this without gaining too much altitude or throwing us into a tailspin, which is proving to be a little difficult at this moment. Apologize for that. Away we go from downtown. Kind of a little melancholy, isn't it? We'll fly back up the Willamette River, get ourselves a northern heading, and then we'll turn around and come back and approach the airport, moving south. Or shall I say, east. Let's tune into PDX, shall we?
Portland Tower HeadTrip 12 is 6 miles southwest, 2,000 feet with Alpha to land.
HeadTrip 12 Portland Tower. Altimeter 29.9 2 and 253 at 10. Make left traffic runway 21.
Fly left traffic runway 21 HeadTrip 12.
Runway 21. Which means we're going to be coming in from a heading of 210 degrees. Let's just work through that. Okay, so we're going to be coming in exactly opposite of the direction we're going right now. So let's do a flyover of PDX, and then we'll find our runway, enter the pattern, and come back and land. Maybe you can keep an eye out for me for runway 21. Now would be a perfect time to be up that Vista house, I'll tell you that much. Perfect time of the day for it. And by the way, I'd like to make a correction to a previous episode. I called that mountain over on the left Rainier. That is not Rainier. That is Mount St. Helens, and you can tell because half of its cap's been blown off. So to the, just straight ahead a little bit to the right is Hood, and then to the left a little bit there is Mount St. Helens, with Mount, the really small one quite in the background between them is, I forgot. But it's not Rainier. Rainier is further up. So
American 2657, go around.
I am going around. Don't worry. I'm going around, just finding my runway. I think this is my runway right here.
20318 miles northeast, inbound localizer runway.
Runway 2. I want to say runway 21 is going to be this short little runway. I feel like it's going to be this little runway coming this direction.
Going around American 2657.
But we'll find out. Let's see if we
American 2657, contact Portland approach on 124.35.
Goodness, that's hard to focus.
Cleared
Well,
localizer runway 21 approach.
maybe that was
Southwest
26.
2031.
I feel
Head trip 12 and 253 at 10. Cleared to land runway 21.
21.
Southwest 2031, follow the Cessna Skyhawk on base. Wind 253 at 10. Cleared to
21.
land runway 21.
Where is 21?
Going to 124
There it is.
35
Yep, that's the one.
2657.
That's the one we're going to land on, this smaller runway.
Clear
Going.
to land runway 21 southwest 2031.
So we'll drop in elevation a little bit and we'll come back towards the runway and we'll make our landing. We're going to throw some flaps on, slow us down a little bit. I better acknowledge him or he'll cancel my flight, so...
Cleared to land runway 21 head trip 12.
There's another little plane coming in. Might be even taking our runway. Wonder who that is. Okay, let's drop down. Yeah, he's taking our runway, 21. He's coming right in. Give ourselves some more flaps. Okay, I think that's plenty of room to work with.
Southwest 2031, go around.
Going around southwest 2031.
Southwest 2031, contact Portland approach on 118.1. Good day.
Going to 118.1 southwest 2031.
Portland Tower, Alaska 1308 miles northeast inbound localizer runway 21 approach. Alaska 130, Portland Tower. Altimeter 29.9 or 2 and 253 at 10. Cleared localizer runway 21 approach. Cleared localizer runway 21 approach Alaska 130. Alaska 130, follow the Cessna Skyhawk on final. Wind 253 at 10. Cleared to land runway 21. Cleared to land runway 21 Alaska 130.
Coming in for our landing, guys. Approaching it just a little bit off course. Let's try to straighten up. Okay, let's come down. A little bit rough. Let's just see if we can try keep this going. This is going to be a rough landing, guys. Apologize. A little bit of a rough landing.
Head trip 12, turn next taxiway.
Will do.
Head trip 12, contact ground on 132.275.
bring ourselves in. Let's respond to tower for a moment so they know that we're paying attention.
132.275 head trip 12.
And we'll head on over to the other frequency to contact ground. And would like to taxi to gates.
Portland ground, head trip 12, request taxi to the gate.
Okay. So I think we're going to bring up a little map of our airport here. Let's open up PDX.
Head trip 12, please acknowledge.
A little bit busy here, bro. There we go. Now we can acknowledge. There we go. So we want to find our gate. I don't 100% recall. Let's find out where we are. Oh, my goodness, there we are. So let's just southwest ramp. You know, this looks good. This is general aviation. It looks like C3. Any legends here? We're just going to assume this is a pretty good spot to be landing. And I assume if you're coming on runway 21, it's going to be either here or over here anyways. So that makes a lot of sense. This is for the larger aircraft over on this side. So I think that gets us where we need to be. Let's just taxi on in. I'm looking for any signs of life out here, maybe another aircraft, just to validate my decision to park. I'm probably over in maintenance or something like that. Heck, let's just, you know what, let's just end this off with a bang and taxi over towards the larger gates, just so we feel like we're part of something special. Little Cessna coming in to park with the 747s. How's that? We don't want to end the day just all alone, do we? We want planes. We want company. Okay, hold tight for a moment. That's probably not going to fly. That was most likely copyrighted music. We must have made it to the end of our playlist, so let's just end this day in silence, right? We don't need music. We just need the soft hum of the cockpit, right? We'll find our way over. Okay, now we're starting to see some larger aircraft. But we want to be close enough that we can just come off the, what do they call it, the little ramp, and go straight to, you know, airport terminal, wherever that yummy Quick Bites food is we looked at. And if you want to know, oh, wow, okay, well, I realize I'm unauthorized, so I'll give you a pass on that one. Let's just move around these guys. Okay, those were the shuttles out to Portland. So we're gonna just move around here, and yeah, this looks like a pretty good spot to disconnect. So I hope you've enjoyed our flight today. Just as a reminder, you can always join the Discord server and hop on the Fun Bus. There's the address to the Discord server, and if you'd like to do real-time chats with the cockpit, that is what the Fun Bus is all about. Would also like to remind all passengers to don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And come join the community. Come create the community, really. Because there really is no community at this point in time. It's me and Voodoo Donuts. And as a reminder, I'm not sponsored by Voodoo Donuts. Yet. Voodoo Donuts is welcome to send me Voodoo Donuts, though. Okay. What an end to a perfect day in Portland. We'll take the advice of a gentleman at the Vancouver, Canada Spaghetti Factory when he told me as I pulled up to the parking lot, how does the parking work here? And he just said, with a shrug, you just pick a spot. Just pick a spot. So let's find an open gate. We acknowledge we don't have permission to be in this vicinity of the airport. I think I'm going to park between those two big jet planes. There's got to be an open gate between them. And if there's not, we'll just kind of pull up. We're not large enough to connect to the ramps anyways. Here we go. Right between these guys. Nothing official, obviously. This really is not an appropriate place in most circumstances to pull in, I'm guessing, as I don't see the typical. I could be wrong, though. Maybe that's right in front of me. I just don't see it. Right? Ooh, let's see if we can get this guy's attention. Is he going to wave us in? No. He's not going to wave us in. The reason why he's not going to wave us in. Well, the lights just came on. That's good. The reason why he's not going to wave us in is because he's listening to Dizu by Dizan in his headphones. This is a pretty good spot, though. Okay, I apologize for not following protocol there, but it's important that we felt like we were included with the big boys at PDX. Alaska Airlines flying in. Make sure you get your Alaska Airlines Visa signature card. Once again, we're not sponsored by Bank of America or by Alaska, but I'm sure they'd appreciate you racking up some Sky Miles so you can hit PDX as much as possible. With that said, we're going to end our tour here today. We're grateful that you decided to join us on HeadTrip Air. We know the journey is long, but hopefully worthwhile. So, with that said, we're checking out, and we will resume our tour from PDX on through the Willamette Valley, moving into Tillamook State Forest, and then on to the coast on your next segment. And we'll have a lot to talk about when we get there. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.